This episode of Going Forward is brought to you by Optmyzr, an award-winning PPC management tool used by advertisers worldwide. Save time and boost the performance of your PPC campaigns on Facebook, Amazon, and Google or Microsoft. Get a 14-day free trial at optmyzr.com/go/VIP.
Welcome to Going Forward, where inspiring conversations with leaders and entrepreneurs shape tomorrow. Dive into the depths of their journeys, the hurdles they've overcome, and the insights they bring to the future. Let's get moving right here, right now on Going Forward.
Man, I am on the line today with a legend, one of my favorite humans in the world. His name is Mr. George Sink Sr., and he leads the law firm George Sink Injury Lawyers, one of the largest personal injury law firms in the state of South Carolina. Mr. Sink, how are you doing today? How are you doing?
Well, how about you, Eric?
I'm great. You know, there's probably going to be a lot of people who know you, across the country when they see this or when they hear this interview, and definitely the people in South Carolina, when they see this, are going to say like, "Oh man, there's George Sink, the guy I see in all these commercials," And Mr. Sink, if you don't mind, just doing like a short bio just on you and letting these folks know, who is George Sink?
I'm the son of George and Irene Sink, two of the greatest parents in the history of the world. My dad was my mother. He gave us love and cohesion and was kind to me when I was so stupid as a teenager. And my mother was very efficient, and she graduated, she was a Polish immigrant's daughter, and there's 5 kids. And she said, "Dad, I want to go to college." And he said, "No, you're a woman, so you're on your own when you're 18. And so she graduated from college when she was 17. So she's got a little focus. My dad has got a lot of love, and it was a great combination. In the 1950s is when I, grew up, high school, and all that stuff. So it was just a perfect time in the history of the world, really. Maybe we've never had a better time. So I'm very fortunate to be here and glad to talk to you.
Man, let's just say, Mr. the George Sink before you, and then Irene Sink, which one of your parents do you feel like you adopted more of their personality from?
Got both, I hope. I hope I got a lot of my dad's love, and that's a big deal. So, and I think I've got my mom's efficiency. So I think it just is a nice combination.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that people, they don't know about you, and they've probably seen it in some of the ads, and it's that, before you were actually George Sink, the attorney, you were a school teacher, you were a Marine, how does something like that happen where you just go from, the school teacher to being the Marine? I've heard the stories, and to being George Sink today, but how were you inspired, one, to be a teacher, and then what led you into the military?
Well, I didn't know there was any higher slots available for me in life. So my mother was a teacher, and my dad worked in a factory. And so I thought, well, that's okay. I'll go to, and I went to school and got my degree. And then I wanted to be a PhD in history because I got interested in that. And I spent 2 years, 1965 and 66 in graduate school. And of course, I went broke. So I was a licensed teacher, so I got a job, and it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And really hard. But then one day I was we start the day off at homeroom with a TV thing that showed the Marines landing in Vietnam, and I started crying. I don't know. I'm not a crier. I don't cry much. And I don't know what happened, but I said, that's where I belong. And so I joined the Marines, and and I spent 2 tours in Vietnam. And then I was lucky enough to save up a lot of money and stuff. So I said, I'm going to try that lawyer thing because see if that works. So I went to law school. All my friends were from the South. They're really nice people. And I heard they had palm trees and warm weather. So nice
Right.
people, warm weather.
You came from Detroit at
Yeah,
that
yeah.
time.
They said, yeah. They said, "Where's your air conditioning in your car, George?" And I don't understand that. What are you talking
Right.
about? Conditioning. So it's warmer down there, you know. So I thought, okay, that's it. Great people, great weather.
Mhm.
Where's the middle of it? Where's the middle of you know? Where's the middle of the South? It was Atlanta.
Mhm.
So I had I had the advantage of going to Emory Law School and then came to Charleston. So
Yeah.
life was good, and that the rest of the story I think everybody knows.
Yeah. So now let's talk about that story that everybody knows right now. So you had a teacher, you were the teacher, and you were also the military person. I mean, what kind of lessons, did you bring with you as you went into the new career of saying, "Let me try this law thing out"? Like what lessons did you bring with you, and that you still keep with you today?
Yeah, it just seems that I, I do well when I'm in charge for some reason. So in school, I mean, I did well in the Marine Corps too. I got actually tremendous what they call fitness reports. They're
Mhm.
tremendous. So I guess I did well there too. But you have to take charge and you have to lead. And like I told my kids, there's no talking in my classes. I don't care.
Mhm.
Well, there's no talking unless I call on you. And when you do something wrong, I'm never going to send you to the principal because you got to deal with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, and so you take responsibility for your behavior. You don't pass it off.
Mhm.
And then leading. You have to make sure your people know in the Marine Corps. They have to know what's going on. You have to find out, you tell them and you think, well, that's it, but it's not. You have to make sure they heard it. So I always asked the troops. I said, Smith, what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
And Smith tells me, yeah, everybody else is listening and they're hearing it for the second time, so it's probably sinking in. So communication, taking leadership and taking responsibility when things don't go right, and they don't go right a lot,
Yeah.
so step up, be a man, say, oh, my fault, even though I didn't know about it,
Mhm.
my fault, I'll take care of it, and then take care of it. So
Mhm.
that's it. And I also like competing against perfect as opposed to what other people do. I don't
Mm.
like that. I don't like competing against others very much. I like competing against my concept of perfect. And if I'm wrong, oh boy, will I
Wow.
be punished. But if I'm right, hey, uh, but what if I fail? What if I come up short? Well, then I'm just excellent. I'll take it.
I like that. I never heard anybody say they competed against perfect. So, like, you just said like a while ago, you said one time you went broke. I mean, have you ever failed? And
Oh,
what does failure feel like for you?
oh, one of my biggest failures, I felt like throwing up, and then did the right thing. That. So my course is always do the right thing. That's
Yeah.
it. Do the right thing.
Mhm.
And even if it hurts, and boy, it doesn't help to keep it in you. It doesn't help to hold it in you. Should I do this or that? Just tell everybody, hey, we made a mistake. Let's get it fixed.
Yeah.
And I'll help you do it. Let's get it done. So just get over it. And life's full of mistakes. And if you're not making mistakes, you're not doing anything.
Wow.
That's the only way to not make mistakes. Don't do anything.
Wow. Y
So you got to, the more you do, the more mistakes you'll make. And you have to learn that's part of the deal. That's all.
when you started out being an attorney, I mean, were you always a personal injury attorney, or were there other
Well,
areas that you specialized in? Well, not specialized, but worked in as far as practice areas?
no, I was fortunate enough to be hired by a lawyer who had too much work to do, and he was successful. And he gave me all the lousy work, and he said, "And run the office." So I just
Right.
got out of the Marine Corps, so I know how to run stuff, but I didn't know anything about how to practice law. They teach you the law in law school, so um, I just did all that and mastered the crummy work, the hard stuff. And that freed him up to do the easy stuff, which was good by me.
Yeah.
And I figured after 3 years, well, I know how to do the hard stuff. and the easy stuff is going to be a lot easier.
Oh
So
man.
I went out on my own and tested my luck, see if I could perform to
Mhm.
a high enough level that I could pay the bills and raise my kids and stuff. So I I I I did that, and then I realized I didn't like what I was doing because I was making transactional friends. I'd go to
Mm.
clubs or something, and we'd exchange cards with bankers and insurance people, and they didn't like me, and they didn't know me. I didn't know them, and I don't know if I liked them. I don't know them. So I said, I'm just never gonna, this is enough. I can't do this anymore. I can't, I just said, that's it. And I said, I'm never going to do anything from now on that doesn't make me happy. And
Wow.
so, yeah, that was a step back because that costs you money. But once I cleaned that up, it was very good from then on. And plus I was happy to go to work because if you do something you love, you never have to work a day in your life.
Yeah.
So it was not work. It was a lot of fun. And I really enjoyed it up until this day. I mean, I love it. It's good
Yeah.
stuff.
So there's going to be a lot of lawyers or young lawyers who may listen to you, or they may emulate you, follow your advice. I mean, what is that feeling like, knowing like, someone, if they say they're competing against perfect, and then they see you the way you've run the firm is perfect. I mean, what is that feeling like for you?
Oh, I wish them well. I mean, that's what they should do. I wish them well.
Mhm.
Good luck. Go get them. And that's what I love about America. We're all supposed to be equal, and that doesn't mean that I'm the same as others. I'm not. I'm different. I'm a male, and there's females. And, I mean, I'm older, and they're younger. Yeah, I'm not the same. So, but what it means is we should have the same chance, the same start, the same opportunities. So, I
Mhm.
wish them well. I think it's hard, and I admire those people that put their shoulder to the wheel and succeed. Or fail and get up. I failed, a lot of times. So, get up and get going again, and just save your character. Don't lie about it. Don't do anything. Take responsibility. I mean,
Yeah.
even though you didn't do it or you didn't even know about it, it
Right.
comes to you. Just say, oh yeah, I'm so sorry. It shouldn't have happened. We'll take care of it. And then take care of it and let them know. Call them up and say, I'm sorry it happened, but we took care of it. I'm sorry we put you out. Do I owe you anything? Is there anything I can do to make it up? I'm so
Mhm.
sorry. And just be honest about it. And if they say, no, I hate you, well, okay. If they say, oh, that's kind of you to do that, and it's really upfront, you're a stand-up
Mhm.
guy, well, that's good too.
Yeah.
So, it's your character that you should worry about. And the biggest thing for young lawyers is something they'll never do probably is you make friends with your clients. You make friends with them.
Mm.
Because if they like you, you can do no wrong. If they hate you, you can do no right. And so if you're hey, I was top of my class and I'm hot stuff and you're lucky
Yeah.
to be talking to me,
Right.
they're going to hate you and they're going to be picking everything you do apart. So, be a friend. One thing I used to do was when I was driving home, I'd have a couple names and I'd call just for a few minutes. Not long. But I call, hi, Mr. Smith, how are you? How's that leg? Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, but it looks like it will be healing and we will be working and we're taking care of you. I was just driving home and thinking of you. I
Yeah.
just wanted to know how you're doing, and I'm glad to hear that it's getting better. I know it's bad now, but keep up the good work and we'll keep working for you. Take care. Bye. And then, next one. And then talk to them.
And
And then
you still do that today.
So
You
yeah, many people will say, "Oh, my lawyer even called me. Call me at home."
Mhm.
He called me. That stuff. I think that helps.
I think that's I believe that's key, and I think I believe that's missing too with a lot of firms today, where it is almost like how you described it, where it's more transactional and not everyone's trying to become a friend with their client.
Yeah.
You think do you think that had a lot to do with your success
Oh
by
yes,
being the
yes,
friends
yes.
of the client?
Yeah, because when it's transactional, the client picks that up. They say,
Mhm.
"Oh, I'm just another piece of work." That's what they know. They know
Right.
that. And if you're their friend, they'll say, "Oh man, if I ever have." See, on transactional, you don't care. You say, oh, there'll be more work. I don't care.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to build a practice, you don't have to get clients. They'll get them for you because they will say, oh, I really like him. He was so good to me.
Right.
When my friend Fred got in that accident, I told him to call George Sink, that sort of thing. So if you're their friend, they'll build it for you. It just takes a little, it takes time, but they'll keep building it. It keeps growing that way, and it really is a wonderful thing. And they're always right. You're always wrong. Face it. If they come in and they say, you are really stupid and clumsy and slow, I'm just here to tell you because I've finally had it with you. I said, that's not the half of it. Some days I think I'm twice as bad as that. It's really terrible. And things do happen. But the one thing I am pretty good at is handling the situation you're in. I've done it an awful lot. So let's talk about that, and let's see if we can't put that back together and make this thing work. What do you say? And so you've turned it around. You've acknowledged you're stupid, slow, dumb. So, okay, good, done. Now they know they're smart. They were right. Okay, good. And then you turn it around to give them the help they're there for. That's what they really want. They want someone who cares.
I remember a line. I do. I remember a line. I remember a line you also said. You said, do the right thing and the money will always come.
Yes. And also, if people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. I didn't make Homo sapiens up, okay? I'm not that person. So I do know how they work, though, and that's how it works. And that really is important. And nobody listens to it because they're real smart. Hey, I'm a lawyer. My mother says I'm really smart.
Right.
All right. Okay. Good.
Man, that is interesting. Now,
there's a difference between intelligence and smart. Intelligence, that's the stuff that gets you through law school and college and all that stuff. And that's good. It's good. I got A's. That's good. Smart is, how do you apply that to the situation in front of you? And if the goal is success, then are you smart as well as intelligent? And those are the good lawyers. They're the great lawyers, actually, because they're tuned into you. They can read you. They know what you want. They're reading your body language. They care about you. And they're able to do the technical stuff. They're intelligent too. So those are your really, really good lawyers. Not many, but there's plenty. I guess there are plenty of them, but that's the key. That's how you can tell.
That's interesting. I want us to take a break. I got a couple surprises for you. I want you to see while we're on break. And then I want to come back and I want to talk about how did you go from George Sink injury lawyers to George Sink injury lawyers. You know what I mean? So I want to talk about that. We're going to take a break and we will be right back.
Hold tight, listeners. We're taking a brief pause. Going forward, we'll be back shortly with more insightful conversations.
What happens when you're stranded on an island after a car accident? Feel all alone? Feel like you're stuck?
Guys, come here, I think I found something. It's a phone. It says to call all nines.
That call changed everything.
It's George Sink. George! All nines was the right call. Calling all nines will help you get out of here and get you the help you need. Feel like you're on a deserted island after an accident? George Sink Injury Lawyers has the experience to help you get your money faster. Call all nines now.
Hey, it's Eric here from VIP Marketing, and I want to ask you digital marketers something. Are you frustrated with your current PPC marketing campaigns? Well, I want to tell you about a tool that we use here at our agency. It's called Optmyzr. You have the ability to get your reports up to date and make sure that you get alerts on them. You can even work into workflows as well. So if you're frustrated with your campaigns right now in the reporting systems that you use, I want to give you a 14-day free trial of Optmyzr. Go to optmyzr.com/go/VIP.
Welcome back to Going Forward. We hope you're recharged because we've got an exciting second half waiting for you. Get ready to dive deeper and be inspired. Let's keep the momentum going.
Oh, man. You recognize that guy?
Oh, yeah, he's the 9 guy.
He's the
Matter of
nine
fact,
guy.
I get stopped on the street a lot. They say, "Oh, you're the nines lawyer," and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what is that like for you though? I mean, we're going to talk about like how you became George Sink injury lawyers, but then, I mean, what is that like for you now? If you can answer that question, like now it's like in this world of celebrity, and in this world of like social media, instant gratification, everything's at your fingertips, and now people can say you're the nines guy. I mean, what is that like for you now?
I need to think more about myself, but I think about them, and I thought, what if I stopped someone on the street because I thought I knew them, and
Hmm.
how would I want them to treat me? So I'm
Hmm.
always, and this is not it's just in my heart, I think, and so I say, yeah, you got my number, you got my number, and, uh, thank you for saying hi,
Yeah.
be nice to them and stuff like that. What's it like? It's fine. I've never looked for that. I didn't want that. And,
Hmm.
I can do without it. It's not a problem. What It's just nice to know that some evidence that something that happened is working. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good thing. And
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
very grateful for anybody that takes the time to say hello to me or stops me and whatever. I'll talk to them, whatever they want, because they're the only reason I'm George Sink. That's the only reason. It's them.
Mhm.
So I owe it to them to be courteous, kind, and helpful to them,
Mhm.
friendly for sure.
Yeah.
So that's what,
But
that's what,
but it but it seems like this is like another level of celebrity. Like I grew up in the Charleston market, so I've seen George Sink, star Sink, 1-800-849 Sink, and it seems like this is almost like the nines with you is like a celebrity moment now. So I mean, was that ever a great move for you to like to go and transition to nines?
yes, it was. Um, I had discussions about the star sync. I like that, but I thought maybe we could, my analytical mind thought, thank you, mother. I said, well, uh, I think people might know a lawyer's name. There's a lot
Right.
of good lawyers out there, a lot of them,
Right.
ton of them,
Yeah.
but they might know their name. But do they know how to get a hold of them? So the goal was
Uh,
to link the number with the name so that if they thought accidents sink nines, and that made it easy. They knew my number. If I could link that together, and I think we've been somewhat successful in that.
mhm. Yeah, it's almost like now it's how do you make yourself still stand out when everyone's kind of doing that? And like let's just say like you run yourself like you want to be better than perfect, and some people look at the way you've done it is perfect. They may not know the challenges in between, but
Right.
they may not know all the challenges in between on how you got to where you are. But like looking at now, like, okay, the nines was a good move for you. Would you, and then there's other law firms that may do a different number. Somebody may do all
Sure.
zeros. How
Yeah.
do you still stand out so that, one, hey, you're special, your firm's special, you're different, they want to say, hey, that's my lawyer. I mean, how do you still do that?
Well, I think entertaining them, and being friendly and open, like being a human being.
Mhm.
Uh, you could say, I'll fight for you.
Yeah.
Call me. You can do that.
Right. Right.
Or you can be a little more relatable, like be a human being, like
Mhm.
be funny or happy or something like that, that people can like, you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
and make entertaining, relatable messages to send to the people to make them expect and demand, I hope,
Mhm.
that they're treated in a relatable and friendly and warm and open way. So
Right.
that would be the hidden chip, I guess, which is,
Mhm.
you'll be treated great if you give us a call.
Wow. So now let's talk about, like you said, George Sink to George Sink. All right. So how did when did you start feeling like, oh, this is getting bigger than just little old me, George Sink? I mean, at what point did you notice that? And then what action did you take when you started to notice
Yep.
George Sink was getting bigger?
The turn of the century, it just started catching fire. And so I stopped actually litigating cases and things like that to manage the growth. And that's something I was good at. So I did that. So if someone needed help or coaching, I could coach them up on our team, or if they got in trouble, I could help them to get it resolved, or hiring the right people, keeping the right people in place, motivating them, keeping the organization growing, looking at new areas. We cover all of South Carolina and now parts of 2 other states. So it's how do you do that? And they call it scaling, but it means just growing. How do you do that? And if I had a full caseload, I couldn't do that. So what I do is get really responsible people in every area, in every office, and talk to them and help them and visit them and see what's what.
You know, when you were starting to scale and grow like that, did you have a mentor that assisted you along the way, or someone coach you along the way to say, hey, George, this is what you should do? Because at some point, you know, because like there's a lot of bumps that happen on your path to growth. And like the old saying goes, growth hurts, you know? So, you know, was there a time or was there a mentor that helped you on your path to growth?
No, but here's what I do. I read books. Like here's one I'm reading right now. It's called Mastery. It's by a guy named Robert Greene. How do you get ahead? So I feel like people take the time to give you assistance and help, and it's in books. And can you do it? And then I go to seminars. Lawyers get together and, hey, come and see me in Las Vegas and I'll teach you how to be a jillionaire and make you the best possible lawyer in the world and all that. So you go there and you take away I used to take 26 things back, and can't do that. It's too many. So I decided to take the top 3 and actually implement them, steal the best ideas from everybody and actually implement them, measure them, promote them, help them grow. And then next time you go to a seminar, 3 more, and then 3 more. So pretty soon you've got a lot of really good ideas cooking. They're supervised, they're growing, and things keep happening. So I use, these lawyer groups to assist me.
That's good. So you recommend, lawyers be involved. Like if you don't have a mentor, you recommend that they definitely, because you've gotten some insight from it, for them to be around other lawyers, to be able to learn some things and pull away 3 things from those conferences, meetings, etc.
Yeah, I learned. Matter of fact, I had a mentor coming up when I was working for this other gentleman, and I can't tell you how fantastic he is. Handsome, movie star, handsome, athletic. His brother was a outfielder for the Milwaukee Brewers. This kid's, and he's tremendous. And I said, why didn't you have more children? Because you're a killer. You're the best. No, seriously, and he said, George, my wife had a problem. The doctor made a mistake when we delivered our first child, and she couldn't have any more children.
Wow.
And she couldn't have children, period. And I said, this was the key. I said, this is a killer lawyer. So I said, well, why didn't you sue him? And he said, George, he was my friend. I got it.
Wow.
If they like you, you can do nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
If they hate you, you can't do anything right. Boy, because this guy was Superman, honestly, and it's just he just felt that way, and I thought that was a real key to human understanding. That was a real lesson for me.
I want to thank you all for giving us your most valuable asset, your time. And also a huge thank you to our sponsors over at Optmyzr. For all of you who are running PPC campaigns and you want to see how to do it better and get better results and actually boost the performance of your campaigns and save time, get a free trial at optmyzr.com/go/VIP.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to rate our podcast and share it with a friend. Every share, every comment, every rating propels us forward. For more content, insights, and updates, visit ericelliott.com. Remember, your journey, your story is what keeps us going forward. Until next time.